Okay. Yes. So, of course, season 5 is not going to be live per se, but we definitely got some preparation on the motherfucking way. As you can see, Kai Storm is in the building. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana is in the building. Shoot, Fuego Magazine is in the building. Shop.spreadshirt.com/MSM gear is in the building. Everybody is in the building. And season 5 will bring new conversations, new topics to talk about, new subscribers, new money in this bitch. That's all we interested in 2023. Increase in direct deposits. G, stop playing. Stop playing. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana.com. We in the building, season 5. Show up and show out. And if you want to get down with us, hit us up. All right? Later, people. We in the building, season 5. Let's get it. Doing, Lord have mercy. How you doing?
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right. Can you see me?
No, not yet. All
Okay.
right, now I can see you. Hey, honey, that face looks very happy. I'm loving it. How you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sure, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's always good to when we get together. You know how that go.
I echo that. And
Indeed. But
copy that.
Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana
Sex
is
Marijuana
in
is
the
in the
motherfucking
building.
building. Yes. And
Season
on
5.
today's episode, we definitely, because of course I want to make sure you get all the time you need. But you know what I mean, because both of us have been doing this motherhood thing for a good amount of time. But right now, the difficulties in motherhood that you're having, we definitely want to hone in on because not only, there are a lot of women out there that could be going through this situation right now, and discussing it right now would be great, but also because, for the most part, it's probably not a popular subject. You know what I mean? It's probably people just is like, oh, you have kids. It's a wonderful blessing, and everything is a blessing, and everything involving with them is a blessing. But baby, it's hard out in these streets when you got to take care of yourself and take care of them too. You know what I'm saying? And you can't and you can't shortchange either fucking one. So right now I want you to pour into the podcast and talk about the current difficulties that are going on in your life based on we got a little mama in the building and she is now the boss of the house.
Absolutely. As I was kidding earlier with Kai on the phone, I'm the lowly slave at this point, just being reactive to everything that everybody needs. Hello. Excuse me for a minute.
It's all good.
There you go. So, you know what? I'm just gonna say you can tell by the bags under my eyes that I'm not getting enough sleep. Okay, let's just say that.
That's the starters, definitely.
Yeah, and so it's just like when I can take a shower, sometimes it's like that's just the best thing in the world. It's just like it's Christmas, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of different challenges that I don't think us women talk about during postpartum situations. And it's crazy. I don't even know where to start. At first, like, I'm tired, first of
Of
all.
course. Of course. You're
And
exhausted.
you know, but it's also a different dynamic because not only am I did I just have a baby on the first, which was like, 30 days ago, give or
Mm-hmm.
take. She was born prematurely. It was a very it was an emergency C-section due to
Yeah.
preeclampsia. And so the preeclampsia is something like I hadn't experienced with any other of my babies. I never even had it. And if you don't know about it, then the worst that could happen aside from death is you could have a stroke or go and have some seizures, you know what I mean? And
Right.
because I have the baby, it would affect her as well. And so that's why the call was to have an emergency C-section. And
Mm.
I did not anticipate it, but I just wasn't feeling right. Like there was just something in my body that was feeling you just know when something's just not quite right. And
Uh-huh.
so I'm really glad that we did. I called the ambulance. Thank God my mom was out here. And so
Yes.
everything was just fucking traumatic and quick. And then to top it all off, because they couldn't numb me for some reason, um, I had to be put on, I was put to sleep. So I had the anesthesia going on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when I come to, I'm still all fuzzy and hazy.
Right.
And they congratulate me. And, thankfully I'd given one of the doctors permission to take pictures on my behalf. And so that happened. But I remember crying,
Yeah.
very immensely while I was on the table, just like, damn, this fucking sucks. And then although I'm not alone per se, I felt very alone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I felt very dang, like this is some shit. And then to top it all off, surgery is nothing to play with. Some people don't make
Absolutely.
it out. There's been a lot of people, even a couple of people I know, rest in peace, that have not made it out of surgery.
Mm.
And so it's like all these things were just going on in my head. Anyway, fast forwarding, my daughter's, doing well. Thank God. We're
Thank
out of the
God.
NICU after 2 weeks because she was able to eat on her own and that sort of thing. So anyway, she is doing great. She's eating well. She eats almost every 2 to 3 hours. And so
Nice.
that means that my ass has to get up 2 to 3 hours. Um, Man, shout out to those mamas that can just breastfeed in and out. I have had to use formula as well. And that's another thing. It's like I feel like mothers get shamed for having to do what they got to do, but my baby's gonna eat no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
we're gonna have to figure something out. And so anyway, we're going through the feeding stage. And then there's this other dynamic of being a provider at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the luxury of not working right now. I have to work. So I start work in like a couple of weeks, and I'm setting up all of the daycare and whatnot.
Mm.
And so that's another thing. It's been a concern of mine. Um, no problem. It's been a concern of mine regarding the daycare situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But thankfully, I found a couple of women. Um, One, a very amazing, beautiful mama, that has had years of experience raising
Nice.
kids. And she happens to like own a restaurant that I eat at. And so it just kind of worked out. Also, she's a person of values, and so I feel comfortable enough, you know what I'm
Nice.
saying? So they're going to be going there, and I have to get back to work. It just is what it is. And I don't think we talk enough about, the dynamic in which what a woman like, because like let's say, right, when you choose to have a baby with somebody or you just have a baby with somebody, there's
Mm.
always this hope that you're pretty much building this family unit.
Right.
And so when it comes to like the norm that I am used to, mom and a dad, siblings and whatnot.
Right.
When it comes to like having to form your own dynamic, like, well, this is our family, it's me and it's you guys, and it's, yes, we do have an extended family, but this is it. And
Right.
so it's like, I'm sure that millions of women have done it. I'm sure,
Absolutely.
probably with, running circles around my ass. But I'm just saying, like, at the same time, going through the thick of it, this is nothing to play with.
Absolutely not.
And if you don't think I was fucking kidding before, I'm not fucking kidding now. Like, it's just crazy. And while I'm sitting here, like, half asleep, trying to feed my baby, haven't showered, feeling stinky and shit, you know what I mean? I was just like, there's also a piece that's like, I'm glad that I don't have to deal with anyone else's shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Word.
focusing in on this. And there's not a lot of women that have that ability to do that or the means to do that. And so I don't take it lightly either. You know what I'm saying? Me
Mm.
being able to work is more of a privilege. I'm in a position where it's pretty much I would say flexible, and flexible is what I need right now.
Word.
So yeah, there's been, dude, I could go on and on, Queen, but that's just the highlights of what I've been experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know, do you,
No, no, I feel it because and see that's why I'm letting you talk, because real talk, that's a dynamic that I've had, with my children. I mean, yes, my children are older now. I mean, well, the youngest one is about to be 8, but the fact is, it's a dynamic that I've had to deal with, whether having someone there or just doing it on your own. It was a combination of both for me. So in my head, the first time was just a whole learning curve. You know what I mean? You literally are learning, how to be a mom, how to actually take care of this being, and put yourself in a mentality where you're responsible. So therefore, whatever this person eats, shits, what I'm saying, whatever they wear, wherever they go, you have to have knowledge of it because you care for that child. You know what I mean? So that dynamic was just one thing. So the emotional part of it, the mental part of it, of just whether you have somebody there or not, it's still a struggle. Because I mean, I can remember days when my middle child, a goddess, was like, a baby. And during, and when her, when I first had her, uh, uh my husband was at that time, we were together. So you know what I mean? So I remember waking up in the middle of the night, just all of a sudden just being tight, because this child woke up 3, 4, 20 times that night, and I'm pissed off, and I'm trying to get some motherfucking sleep. And I remember one time literally just waking him up and just putting the child on his head, like, here, take this. I'm going to sleep. And it wasn't even like it wasn't like I told him, yo, I'm gonna take a little 20-minute nap and give me a chance. It was just like, here, take that. I'm going to sleep. And I just laid down, and I heard him saying, see, you done got your mother mad and shit. And it's like, but it was like, even when I didn't even have that, when there was times when I didn't even have that, there was still, I had to deal with that emotionally and mentally, and it was a struggle. And it was, and talking about it was definitely something that helped. So I that's the main reason why I wanted you to talk about it, because especially in the times that we live in now, in these pandemonium streets, things are fucking hard and depressing as fuck. So having a baby in this time by yourself, basically, you have extended family, but you're just making your situation, you have to have a lot of strong conversations with yourself in order to motivate yourself in this situation. And that's something that we definitely want to make sure and tell people, that it's okay to have those inside conversations. Seek help, yes, if you feel like you need help, but definitely, it's definitely part of your growth, having those conversations with yourself, telling yourself, you're gonna make it past this. Yeah, and don't let outside fucking chitter chatter talk, get you in your feelings about how you doing. Like for me, if for instance, I absolutely didn't. I didn't breastfeed any of my kids. Matter of fact, my first child, she got breastfeed maybe 3 times. 3 times, and because literally it didn't feel right for me. Like I when I put her mouth on my titty, it felt wrong. So immediately I turned her. So immediately I turned her to formula. And anybody that had any choice to anything to say about it, I let them know. Listen, it felt wrong for me. So you're not gonna make me. You're not gonna make me feel some type of way for admitting for being this for having this feeling. Like that's how I feel. It felt wrong for me, so I'm not doing it. You're not gonna make me do it. Nobody's gonna make me do it. And with all 3 kids, I didn't breastfeed any of them. And anybody that had anything to say about it, they got cussed the fuck out. Because again, if it doesn't feel right for me, that's what it was. That's why I didn't do it. It didn't feel right, so therefore I didn't entertain the thought. And that's how you got to deal with motherhood in the first place. You know what I mean? People, as long as you in your head and in your space handling what you need to handle when it comes to that to that child, nobody should be able to be outside judging your shit unless you're not taking care of the child. That's the only way you got rights to say any fucking thing. If I'm not doing my job, if I'm clearly fucking up, then yeah, that makes sense. You have something to say. But if you just being judgmental on fucking, semantics, then to get the fuck up out of here, because semantics don't pay no bills. It don't buy no food. It don't buy their school uniform. It don't take care of nothing that they gotta do. You know what I mean? As long as, but the main thing is that, we want to discuss the fact that, it's not all fucking flowers and candy. There's hard days. There's fucking days, just like you said, when you're sitting there and you're dead fucking tired, but you gotta somehow, put a bottle to the mouth or put a tit to the mouth in order to make sure that the child gets what they want. You know what I mean? You're sacrificing yourself in order for this baby to be good. But again, the sacrifice shouldn't be looked at as, oh well, you had this kid, so you signed up for this. Fuck out of here. It's still difficult. I want to talk about it. And I shouldn't be judged because I say it's difficult.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I love that. I love that you shared that. Thank you for that insight. It is what it is, and no one is a perfect parent, a perfect being, right? So
Word.
whatever works for you works for you. So what I have done, because I've read this somewhere, watched it, that when the baby sleeps, you should sleep. So I've been getting little cat naps in, because then it just, at least I'm getting something. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Also, we have the 3-year-old and the 7-year-old that still needs parenting too.
Mm-hmm.
So weaving that in has been quite interesting.
Word.
But we going with it, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
so
because at this point they're still young. So you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got to deal with, their nuances, plus the fact that there could be a little bit of jealousy based on the fact that you're showing a little more attention to the baby, and they gonna notice that,
Definitely. Oh, and then shout out to the angels, and I'm gonna include my sister Kai here, my sister Nat, my moms, and just all those that have, shown love and, kindness. Also my previous boss, like he let me use the cell phone for like, because I didn't have a cell phone at the time, while I was going through this transition. He let me use his cell phone and an extra cell phone that he had, and I just really appreciate just the kindness, of people, and everyone that's wished us well or anything. it's quite amazing. And sometimes it's like, shit, this is hard as fuck. Like, how do I get through this day or this,
Word.
one time, I kid you not, these three motherfuckers were crying at the same time, dude. Even my 7-year-old, and I'm looking at her like, you better shut the fuck up.
Oh
Like,
my God.
they were crying at the same time, and like I wanted to cry too. I wanted to just break down and cry, but I even want to cry now. Like,
Yo, I
it's
could
real.
imagine.
And it's just one of those days where, or one of those moments where everybody needed something.
Yeah,
And the first thing you have to do is tend to the baby. You know what I mean? That's just because she, obviously, for reasons that I don't need to explain. But
exactly.
it's like, how do you juggle whose need is more important, or you don't even remember who asked you first? Like, what the fuck? There's so much going on.
Oh yeah, I mean at that age, it's a real tug of war for you. It's
Yeah.
definitely a real tug of war for you based on their age, and you know what I'm saying. But and you know the only way you can judge, you know, who's need is more urgent than who's, obviously the baby's need has got to be taken care of right away, because that cry, shoot, the way babies cry, ooh wait, it make you want to jump out a motherfucking window. So you got to handle that one first, and then you look to the 7-year-old real quick, like, oh, you crying for fuckery? Okay, then you can just go on and cry, because I ain't got time for fuckery, clearly, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And then the 3-year-old, you gotta check. It could be fuckery, it could be real. You know what I'm saying? So you dip into the 3-year-old after the baby, but at the 7-year-old, 9 times out of 10, you crying for fuckery, nigga. I'm gonna have to let you know. Sit down. Go sit, face the wall, sir. Face the wall. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. You on mute, honey. You on mute, honey.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I said it's just so funny, and I'm so glad that we can address that.
Hell yeah.
So part of this, I was able to like join this. There was a chiropractor around here in the same
Okay.
building that I live in. And long story short, they had this like mother meet and greet, mother and baby meet and greet. So
Oh.
I was able to meet some other mamas and network, if you will.
A
But it was
support group.
nice.
That's what's up. That's what you call networking, and still that's a support group. That's a way of self-love. Everybody's finding a way to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So exactly. And so however you are able to cope, whether it's through your family or your, whoever, or your or whatever, your support group or church group, I think that helps in times of need. Um, I'm still getting emotional about what we were talking about previously.
No, I feel
Um,
you. It's such a fucking pull, you know what I mean? And even down to, like, of course, even giving birth, because yes, I remember out of all three children, the main birth that I remember the most is Anaya's, which is my youngest, because literally as I was walking into the room, it was like the room all of a sudden represented something negative and evil all of a sudden, and it was just like, oh wait a minute, maybe I don't want to do this, and it was like it was like the sense of I didn't want to, I was walking into having a scheduled C-section, but it was just like something in the room just made me say, oh, I don't want to do this. But it was like the doctor, he must have felt that I was trying to chicken out at the last minute. He was like, no, 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 no. And he started talking to me, you know what I mean? And everybody in the room kind of, engaged me in conversation in order to get my mind off of the situation, because that is surgery. It's traumatic surgery. And at the end of the day, whether you're, knocked out by whatever drugs they're giving you, or you're actually awake to see what's going on and feel a little bit of what's going on, you know what I mean? That right there is still a traumatic situation. And for them to recognize that I was kind of scared for a minute, they literally jumped in order to kind of assure me and kind of soothe me down to like, chill out. We're going to do this. Today is the day. Let's go. And, so it's all psychological. Motherhood is very psychological. You're taking care of other beings. And at this time with your situation, they're all in their respective beginning stages. You know what I mean? Nobody is, mature enough to really, completely understand the situation. You know what I mean? Never mind the fact of the dynamic that, you're in a new state, new situation, new environment. So, it's a lot for them to gather, a lot for, to deal with and explain away while, maintaining a daily routine. And, it's fuckery that, you don't have the support in order to, stay home a little bit more. But, things happen for a reason. Maybe, you getting together with this support group and, allowing yourself to go back to work allows, financial, get to financial stability where, what I mean, you could be, be more comfortable in your situation. Therefore, it's all about self-care. It's all about, looking, for the positives in your situation. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, either way, while you might be going through a couple struggles, there's still, positive lights around you to give you good feeling and, help you carry on. You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt. And again, there's many sisters, queens, including yourself, that have been there, done that. It's just the thick of it. And if anyone wants to share your story, please hit us up. We'd love to talk to you if there are any concerns or anything like that. If you're looking for any, like a good therapist, we know of one, so holla at one. Actually, she's in, I think, Baltimore, right? Is that where?
Yes, as a matter of fact, yes, Nyla, yes. Yes,
Nyla,
as a matter of
yes.
fact, yes, she's in Baltimore. And, and the fact is we have, because of our cannabis network, we have a lot of, a lot of people with different insights that are available to, talk to you and give you inspiration when it comes to different things. I mean, not everybody we talk to are mothers, but we definitely have a lot of people on the show that are responsible for some type of children somewhere. And you know what I'm saying? And that's all you have to do. You don't necessarily have to give birth to somebody in order to know the struggles of raising somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's absolutely, giving birth is just a phase that, you know what I mean? But just because you didn't go through that phase doesn't mean that you don't understand or, or can't comprehend the difficulties of it.
And you know what, going through a period of time where you're forced to be reflective, if you may, I think you shed light on this a little bit. But as I was sitting there thinking about everything, like just a few months ago, my children and I were in a shelter, and I think we talk about that previous. Of course. And Queen Kai shared her story too. So it's just like having been through more, like I feel like something even harder in the fact of, in other ways, right? In other ways, it was a lot harder. It just forces me to like, hey, what if it was, be glad you're not over there. You know what I'm saying? Be glad you're not experiencing that same shit, because things could always be worse. And we also have to celebrate like our little milestones and the things that we're doing. Even, little moments. I love to celebrate, that my baby eats like a little bit more this time, this feeding, you know what I mean? Because the more she eats, her appetite's getting better, obviously, you know what I mean? And so those are just little celebrations, little things of me being able to have this podcast with my business partner and meet all of these amazing people that I probably wouldn't have easily been accessible to, because what brings us together is this beautiful subject matter. Indeed. So it's like, I just encourage anybody to keep just do what you feel is best for you, and also find a creative outlet. That I think that will help throughout times like this. What do you say, Queen?
Oh, absolutely. My creative outlet is definitely a part of my self-expression, and a big part of, me just, self-checking myself, psychologically, expressing myself as well, because I mean the thing is, the thoughts have to come out. You know what I mean? It's not like I said at the beginning of this video, motherhood is not all peaches and cream all the time. It's not just that the children that come to you are blessings. There's a lot of hard work that goes into those blessings, and a lot of emotion, a lot of, you know what I mean? And there's times that you know what I mean? It's true. When you get, a break, and you get somebody to, take the kids, or you put them in daycare or something like that, and you got a break to yourself, that's a damn good time. That's something well goddamn deserved, because at the end of the day, we all need breaks. Yes, I love you. Yes, I brought you in the world, but I'd like to not see you for an hour. I'm just saying. Just an hour. I know. Just a couple hours.
And we shouldn't feel guilty about that.
And I am somewhere else, and and we'll come together eventually. Well,
Absolutely.
The hell, all of that is part of the game. Is thinking about that is part of the game. Being emotional about it, like you said, having a moment where, you were literally watching all three of your children cry at the same time, and you want to cry and join them, but that ain't gonna help shit. So let's get everybody to shut the fuck up first, and then you know what I'm saying. Let's get everybody to shut the fuck up first, and then I can figure out me. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then speaking of Nyla and the therapist that we referred to, she had said in one of her posts, or one of her videos, excuse me, that it's our responsibility to pretty much get our shit together as parents. Like there's, you know what I mean? Like there's only so much to, and plus I'd like to, echo on that, is like, you don't know, no one knows everything at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And so I think as long as you're doing the best that you can, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's sometimes where my kids are eating Cheetos and then going to bed. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, hey, again, the name of I get from that post is that, you can't blame everything else on everybody else. You can't blame everything that's going wrong on everybody else. You gotta take accountability for your situation. And if you want happiness, make happiness happen for you. If you want, a space where, you're taking care of yourself, and your kids are being taken care of in another space, and you got time to yourself, that's well deserved, well needed, and you should make time for that. You should definitely make time to, to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you can't pour into nobody if you're not fully poured into yourself. You have to be completely full in order to, be something great for other people, something great for your children. You know what I mean? So taking care of yourself is definitely not a bad thing, and don't let nobody judge you for it. Don't let nobody judge you for how you mother or how you parent your kid, and don't let nobody make you feel bad for, want to take time away from your kids, or talking about, the extra hard parts of what parenting is like. Like nobody should be, chastised for feeling like, yo, this shit is hard sometimes, damn it. Like what, nobody should, have any judgment or any say on that, because at the end of the day, that person has earned that right based on how hard they've been working. Because best believe the kids are a job. The kids are a motherfucking job. So if you're working hard for them, best believe there are good times and then there are bad times. And you shouldn't be judged on how you feel about it. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
I agree. 1 second here.
It's all good. But yes, I hope that everybody that's listening to this podcast definitely has a support, some level of support when it comes to, parenting. But even if you don't have support, even if you and your mind and yourself is your only support, hey, the fact is, don't feel bad about that. Keep strong in that, because sometimes it has to be like that. And at the end of the day, just like in Ruby's situation, where she was able to meet and connect with good people that brought her good things. I absolutely had the same situation when when I was pregnant in Seattle with my last child. I was living in Seattle when I was pregnant with her. And, I had a lot of good people that would not only tell me about different programs, but also, give me things, they, somebody actually threw a baby shower for me. You know what I mean? It's like, again, in certain situations, because you're a good person, karma brings good people and good things to you. And I certainly believe that, in your situation, good things are going to continue to come to you, so that, yes, it's going to be hard to go back to work, especially when, it's not even time yet for you to go back to work yet. But at the end of the day, you are definitely, your karma is going to bring, good things around you, so that, you're able to, maintain and keep going. I absolutely believe that.
Exactly. And it's just, and then I think what I was trying to say about the parenting thing was that our kids really don't owe us anything. Like, I did ask for them to be here at the end of the day.
Word.
And so I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm just in the lobby area, and if you hear a lot of background noise.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Shoot, we getting it on however we getting it on. As long as I'm listen. I'm making sure getting all the time I can out of you while Miss Thing is asleep. Cause shit, I just feel like she my boss too. Shit, apparently we can't do shit unless she good.
Well, I'm proud of us for sticking it through. You know what I mean?
Of course, shit, girl. Of course, I'm gonna work with you. Of course, I'm gonna work with you. I understand. I've been right there with you. So best believe I'm gonna work on your schedule.
And you know what? I wanted to also talk about the postpartum depression part. I noticed that with my own depression,
right,
it's not like it's the way that I noticed I get very quiet, and then I might like not shower for a couple of days, and then I might like just be really like inside, and like I feel like I'm on like what is that when you're on autopilot? Right. You're just going through the motions.
Right.
And then I also
you're just doing what you're supposed to do. You're not really thinking about it.
Exactly. And then I also noticed that when I'm depressed, I don't eat. I tend to like not eat until like I smoke, and then obviously I get the munchies. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that. And so these are just little things, and I just share this because for other people it might be different. You know what I mean? But only you know yourself. And so, like, what do you do? What do you guys do in times like that? It's a hypothetical question. You don't need to answer that. But it's just like, what are things that one does or that you can personally do when you get into that? Say, is it calling a friend? Is it watching, a funny movie? What is it for you? And so I think it's important to ask yourself those questions.
Absolutely. And you know what, even though you said don't answer, I'm gonna go ahead and answer, because for me, You know what I'm saying? Because right now in my situation, I'm definitely like anxious for certain things to happen. And, so in my anxiousness, there has been, a time where your own brain will make you think, some negative shit. You know what I'm saying? And for me, sometimes it's hard to walk away from that negative shit, even though I know it's my own brain playing with me. It still is a hard walk off to walk away from it. But the only thing I do is I try to find some way to distract myself. Like like, what I'm saying? If it takes, scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on YouTube, what I'm saying, little funny clips, what I'm saying, videos, or, what I'm saying, just, watching other people business, you know what I mean? Just, on a general basis, just celebrity business and shit like that. Whatever it takes to distract me from what I'm feeling, that's what usually works for me. It's like I need to distract myself, or at least, busy myself, what I'm saying, get into, some sort of activity in order for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'm not thinking about that shit no more. And 9 times out of 10, that works right away. I'll start, start thinking about what, the positive aspects of what I'm looking forward to. And what I'm saying, I try to hone in on that while I'm distracted by whatever is distracting me. But I say all of that to say that, whatever your method is to fix your depression, whatever the method is, go with that. Absolutely go with it. Absolutely use it, hone in on it. You know what I mean? Do whatever you need to do to activate it. You know what I mean? Make sure that, you don't sit and simmer in the depression. You know what I mean? Of course, depression gonna come. Things, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? There's good days and there's bad days. It's never all good. It's never all bad. It's a fucking mixture of both. So at the end of the day, you gotta, what I'm saying, you gotta find a way to get out of that shit. And once whatever your path is, run with that shit. Don't let nobody talk you out of that shit. Don't let nobody judge you for that shit. Run with that shit, whatever it is. Word.
Absolutely. And in fact, like, my self-love is indeed growing for myself more each day, because it's like a real love, just like you would have a real love in any relationship with somebody long term. And I just really love the motherfucker that I am, and just my own values that I set upon myself. They have nothing to do with anybody else's values. And because of that, I do sleep well, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, I'm just grateful for this podcast, for everything that we stand for. I'm grateful for the community that we built. I'm grateful because by talking it out with somebody, that's usually just therapy for me, where it's just the realization. Because I feel like once you just start being real with yourself and you just talk things out, you're bound to get an answer if you're really looking for one. Exactly. So I just love what this is all about. This Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana is a safe space, but it is a service. It's a service for all who just care to just be, you know what exactly. I mean? It's a safe space. It's a safe space. It's a space to just be, and it's a space to break down however you break down. You know what I mean? To just know the fact that whatever's going on with you, you're not going to be judged. This is a space where you can share that. You know what I mean? You can, know that we can talk about the details about that, and then it won't be no situation where nobody looking down on you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, but as always, we put on a great show. I know I want you to get back to the baby, you know what I mean, and get back to the kids. And even if they all sleep, you definitely need to get back to sit down and quiet time. Like, woo, they quiet. I done did a podcast, and I get 5 or 10 minutes of shut the fuck up time. Shit, I'm doing it big right now, motherfucker. I'm doing it big right now. That's right. Indeed. I love you so much, Queen. I love you too. It's another good one in the chamber. This is a good one. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana in the motherfucking building. All right. Later, Queen. Later. Lady.